Hi, everybody. My name's Adam Pulisic. I'm one of the founders and the CEO of what you used to know as skillbuilder.io, now officially Skilly. I know it's February, but we're going to go ahead and say Happy New Year's anyways. For those of us that survived or thrived in 2025, we know that both challenges and amazing opportunities are in 2026, and we're excited to show you just a small glimmer of the types of things that we released in the last couple of weeks that hopefully make your life just a little bit easier. So the first thing is many of us have gone away and are at least out of the way of business cards, but it turns out that people still love digital business cards. And so if we can use the example of Visit Pittsburgh, I want everyone to follow along here and see in your AI agent and customize tab, we now have a business card. Now, a business card has a QR code that's trackable, a unique URL, and of course the name and the original domain that you can find this guide at, which is visitpittsburgh.com. Now, what do I mean by planning a travel itinerary? Well, let's go ahead and hop right back over to where I was. We're gonna go to the beautiful website that visitpittsburgh.com has put together, and we're gonna find your neighbor hanging out in the bottom right-hand corner. When I click Start Chat, you're gonna see a variety of prompts, like always, like can you plan a trip for this weekend or across the neighborhoods, what should I do? I'm gonna expand this a little bit just so it's a little bit easier for us to all see on this particular call. And when I do that, I'm gonna hit, can I plan a trip for this weekend? Now, the AI, unlike instantaneous or kind of memorized responses, is gonna actually have to now think about what is the right stuff to do this weekend. As we can see here, it's February 6th through the 8th. And like a good AI guide or a neighbor, they're gonna actually ask you a couple of questions here that really make it possible to see. Now, the reason I point this out is because many of you have not enabled the feature that allows your AI guide to be a little curious about the people that are coming. If you're interested in us enabling that, it takes only about 10 minutes or so, and any of your Skilly contacts, including myself, will be happy to show you. The power of that, as you can see here, is it says, great choice, ready to plan a weekend. Well, how many people are traveling and what is your budget? Well, let's see, there's gonna be 4 of us coming in Friday and leaving Sunday. And we want to spend, let's say, $1,000 across the 4 of us. So kind of a pricey weekend, but maybe achievable. Now, what's happening in the background, thanks to the logic that this particular team has put in play, is it's thinking about not only static information that it has, but as you're gonna notice here, a variety of dynamic elements, including things like how to think about the concepts of checking in and out. Seems like Drake Plaza is the clear winner here. You're gonna see maybe some of the kind of greatest hits here in terms of the original one in the strip district for the Primanti brothers. You know, I know we get a lot of slack for French fries on sandwiches, but you know, if you go to the source, it's actually quite excellent. Now, we're gonna see a variety of other elements here that we can go to. So we see, you know, the Chief as a theater, and then we see it Saturday kind of starting off with maybe DeLuca's, if you're not familiar, all the way down to Small Galley, the Duquesne Incline. It's sort of the greatest hits here along the journey. What's really cool about this is it gives us an opportunity to not only think about the weekend, but seamlessly react to something along the same way. Now, if I want to come back here as a reminder for everyone, I can always type in, I have an 8-year-old with me, please adjust. Now, you're gonna find there's many ways you would ask your neighbor about suggestions. We just want to encourage you to actually talk in a natural language as you experience it, but also, again, remind you that we can come in and help your team create this exact same type of conversational experience along the journey. Now, in just a few seconds, we're gonna see here that we have now evolved our itinerary, largely starting us out in the exact same plaza, but as you can see here, much more family-friendly options, much more kind of active energy burners along the way. Now, if you didn't know that we can do this kind of back and forth, you may not have realized that we've started to launch the concept of networks. Now, you might already be listed in one of these networks if you're a nonprofit or a cultural institution like, you know, the Pittsburgh Zoo, or maybe a university like Carnegie Mellon or Pitt or Point Park, or of course our very own Visit Pittsburgh guide. What we've done is created 2 major directories, and if you're not already part of them, we would just encourage you to join. One is the visitpittsburghguide.com. So a play on our namesake for our destination marketing organization, To the Stars, where you can now come in and just ask simple questions like, as a pet owner, where can I go and eat? Now, what's important about this is we're still going to start our conversation with your neighbor, but we're going to find ourselves now, hopefully, moving a little bit beyond that in the same conversational piece. Now, we've gone back and forth on the questions. I've already showed you that. Why I'm going to go ahead and expand this is you're going to now notice that these agents are aware of other agents, maybe the Kimpton Hotel, or of course, Discover the Berg, right? Now, when I click Start Chat, what you're going to see in these conversational directories, these living, breathing kind of moments to find resources, is that it will take you from one to the other without losing your thread. This is really important if you want to share this with a friend that maybe is visiting for an alumni weekend or coming in for a new job or the destination. What's really cool about this is it also works equally well with our nonprofit and human services network called morepowertogether.org. See, morepowertogether.org allows you to ask on behalf of yourself, a friend, or a loved one, things like, where can I find food? Or other types of very direct questions that, frankly, we're all challenged with from time to time, right? More people than we want to admit need just a little bit of help, and that's nothing wrong with that. But if you're a donor looking for a place to sort of put your hard-earned resources, if you're a volunteer, if you're looking for a job, if you're a corporate partner, there historically hasn't been a central location for a variety of folks to be clustered together. Now, what's cool about this is once I asked about where can I find food, you're going to not only get a little bit of direction here in terms of the Westmoreland Food Bank and the Greater Pittsburgh Community Bank, but you're also in that same vein going to be able to initiate a chat. And now I've gone from talking to our friend Skilly, which is driven by the Forbes Funds and the Greater Pittsburgh Nonprofit Partnership, into a direct conversation where I can go ahead and ask the Community Food Bank or similar exactly where I can activate programs or get resources. These type of directories are already forming around travel and tourism and cultural institutions as well as nonprofit orgs. But if you're listening to this and you're not already active on either one of these networks, or think there's a different way that we could cluster a smaller set of maybe neighborhood-bound nonprofits or geographically relevant institutions, this is the opportunity to kind of weigh in and give us that feedback. More to come on the feedback later. And as always, all these are cited and sourced so we know where the original information came from. Immediate calls to action are prevalent and incredibly supportive kind of augmentation of conversation in terms of how else we can be relevant and be supportive of everyone getting to their goal is always present. Now, these are just a couple examples of individual agents that we can enable in back and forth conversation and directories as well as business cards. But there's more to explore here in the modern day. And I'm going to go ahead and move you over to another fun-filled screen where we're going to meet Artsy. Now, Artsy is the Greater Pittsburgh Art Council AI guide. But she doesn't just live on the website or an email signature. She's not just a QR code that might be on a business card or an office or outdoor space. She's a textable number. So if you haven't had a chance yet or you're curious, pause here and go ahead and text 412-844-4708. You're going to notice that this conversation, of course, is going to be a little different than we can have on a website because it's shorter format without the ability to always drive videos and audio as a return. But you're going to notice that Artsy will actually allow you to save her V-card in your phone, just like you'd save any other context. This is really critical because a large number of organizations and the populations they serve don't always have the easiest time having recall to go back to the website. So if you're delighted by this experience, you're having a lot of fun, and you think your community, your colleagues, your staff, or anyone in your ecosystem could benefit from talking to your Skilly guide via text, we hope that you'll reach out. Now, we've done a really fast lightning tour of just a couple of the exciting things that have come out, maybe in the last couple weeks that you hadn't had a chance to glean in on. But we have lots and lots of room to improve. So here's my offer to you as the CEO if you've made it this far in the video. 1, any feedback, product or otherwise that you give us will qualify you for some fun Skilly swag in our trucker hats. Or if you're not quite into trucker hats, we have a variety of fun canvas bags, as well as t-shirts and swimwear and everything in between. We're really eager to understand what types of things are really critical to you. If you'd like to spend at least 15 minutes with us, maybe even just 10, figuring out how to make your AI guide more curious and conversational, please schedule some time with your contact or reach out or just reply to this email. And if you're curious or you lost track about how to get your business card or how to use it, we're always looking to kind of better educate our customers and learn together about how we can improve our communities, from travel and tourism to nonprofit to medical devices and expert networks and all the other places we find a Skilly guide today. So thanks so much for listening. If you have any questions, always reach out. We look forward to your feedback and we'll be in touch soon.